Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. From the author of the most popular book, Ibnu Kathir, the story of the Prophet Zulkifli, alaihis salam, is one of the prophets mentioned in the Koran as an example of patience, faith and justice. His name is recorded in two verses of the Quran, namely in surah Al-Anbiya, verses 85 to 86, and surah Sad, verse 48. He is also known by his real name Basyar or Bisyr, and according to some scholars, he is the son of the Prophet Ayyub, alaihis salam. So his lineage is Basyar bin Ayyub bin Amush bin Tawakh bin Rum bin Alaisy bin Ishaq bin Ibrahim alaihis salam. Thus, the Prophet Zulkifli alaihis salam has a lineage originating from a family of prophets who are known for their piety, patience and devotion to Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, the information about this genealogy does not come from the Quran or Hadith, but from the interpretations and stories of scholars. Therefore, this information cannot be used as an absolute basis, but it still provides an overview of his origins. Prophet Zulkifli is a leader who reflects the traits of patience, responsibility and courage in fighting for the truth. The title Zulkifli itself means a person who bears great responsibility. As the successor to the leadership of the people, he is known for his justice and faith. Before entering the main story, we ask that you read until the end so that there is no misunderstanding. Don't forget to give appreciation, either through comments or suggestions, if there is something that needs to be corrected from this story. Bismillah, let's start the story. In the beautiful land of Siam, there was a king who are elderly. In a speech in the royal square, the king said, "O my people, I am getting old, and I realize that my strength is no longer sufficient to lead you well. It is time for me to hand over the reins of leadership to someone younger, stronger, and wiser." The crowd that was originally noisy suddenly became silent. Everyone lowered their heads, as if no one was brave enough to look directly at the king. They knew that the responsibility was very big, even scary. In the middle of the crowd, a young man named Basyar stood up and said in a loud voice, "O king, I am willing to accept this responsibility with Allah's permission." The king looked at him sharply. "O young man, do you realize what you are offering? This task is not only about worship, but also leading the people with justice, patience, and wisdom. Are you ready to face the tests that will come?" With full confidence, Basyar replied, "I am ready, O king, and I ask for Allah's help to carry out this mandate." The people watched the inauguration of Prophet Zulkifli with hope and worry. Although there were still doubts in the hearts of some of them, Prophet Zulkifli radiated a belief that slowly touched their hearts. The mandate he received was a reminder that leadership is a form of worship that must be carried out with patience and sincerity. As a young leader, Prophet Zulkifli was faced with various tests, including facing conflicts among his people. One famous story is when an old grandfather repeatedly came to complain about a neighbor who did not keep his promises. Even though he was tired, Prophet Zulkifli patiently listened to the grandfather's every complaint and continued to try to provide a fair solution. His patience was really tested, but Prophet Zulkifli never gave up. He always relies on Allah in every decision he makes. "O Allah," he prayed, "give me the strength to carry out this mandate as well as possible." The story of the Prophet Zulkifli alaihis salam is a reminder that life is about fulfilling the mandate given by Allah with full sincerity, patience, and responsibility. In every test and trial, Allah always provides a way out for those who surrender to Him. The story of Prophet Zulkifli, although short, has many valuable lessons. In some additional history, here are several other stories related to the Prophet Zulkifli. The story of choice as a leader. In a story, a pious king wanted to hand over his power to someone who was able to lead his people fairly. However, he put forward a condition that the leader must be willing to: 1. Not get angry. 2. Perform night prayers. 3. Fast during the day. Among many people, Prophet Zulkifli expressed his ability. With Allah's permission, he succeeded in fulfilling all these conditions without failure. Because of this, he was known as Zulkifli, which means the one in charge. Facing tempting Satan. Another history states that the Prophet Zulkifli was tested by interference from Satan. Satan tried to make him angry and break his promise to remain patient. However, Prophet Zulkifli always managed to control his emotions, stick to his faith, and fight Satan's temptations with prayer and calmness. The example of the Prophet Zulkifli. As a leader, Prophet Zulkifli was known to be very fair. He is never biased in making decisions. Apart from that, even though he is busy with leadership duties, he still carries out his religious duties consistently, such as night prayers and fasting. Prophet Zulkifli's relationship with the children of Israel. Some scholars say that Prophet Zulkifli was sent to the children of Israel after prophets Ilyas and Ilyasa. His task was to continue the struggle of previous prophets in improving the faith of the people who at that time tended to deviate from the teachings of monotheism. Mention in the Koran 1 Surah Al-Anbiya 21:85-86. And remember the story of Ismail, Idris, and Zulkifli. All of them are patient people. We have included them in our mercy. Indeed, they are among the pious people. 2 Surah Sa'd 38:48. And remember Ismail, Ilyasa, and Zulkifli. All of them are among the nicest people. This mention shows the superiority of the Prophet Zulkifli as one of God's chosen prophets who has extraordinary qualities of piety, patience, and kindness. Wisdom and lessons from the story of the Prophet Zulkifli. 1. Patience in trials. Patience is the main key to living life, especially when facing tough tests. 2. Keeping promises and commitments. Like the Prophet Zulkifli, who never broke his promises to Allah, we are taught to always keep our promises, both to fellow humans and to Allah. 3. A God-fearing leader. Prophet Zulkifli is an example for leaders who are always fair, humble, and oriented towards the good of the people. 4. Worship without negligence. Prophet Zulkifli reminded us to maintain our relationship with Allah, even though we are busy with worldly activities. Closing the story of Prophet Zulkifli, although not long, provides important lessons about patience, justice, and responsibility. He became one of God's servants who has a special place in His grace. This is an inspiration for every human being to become a patient, tough, and devout person. In closing, the story of Prophet Zulkifli is an important reminder about the meaning of faith, patience, and responsibility. Even though his story is short, Prophet Zulkifli is an extraordinary example for mankind, carrying out the trust with full commitment. When someone is given a trust or responsibility, he must carry it out well and as fairly as possible. Prophet Zulkifli showed that a leader must be fair, patient, and always prioritize the welfare of the people. Balance between the world and the hereafter. Even though Prophet Zulkifli was busy with leadership duties, he still maintained his closeness to Allah through worship, such as night prayers and fasting. This teaches that the busyness of the world must not neglect our responsibility to Allah. Patience is the key to success. In every trial and temptation, patience is the main pillar to remain steadfast on the right path. Prophet Zulkifli succeeded in going through various tests because of his patience and trust in Allah. Example for leaders and people. The figure of Prophet Zulkifli is a reflection of an ideal leader, fair, patient, wise, and with high integrity. His leadership is an example for anyone given the responsibility of leading others. Prayers and hope. Hopefully, the story of Prophet Zulkifli inspires us to become better individuals. Let us continue to learn from the prophets, including the Prophet Zulkifli, so that we can live this life patiently, responsibly, and always get closer to Allah. And we have included them, the prophets, including Zulkifli, in our mercy. Indeed, they are among the pious people. QS Al-Anbiya 86. May Allah make us among those who are patient and pious like His prophets.